the next step in your journey is to develop horizontal freedom. Spiral mapping gives you vertical freedom this way, knowing that you go bridge set, triple, 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 head set. So horizontal movement is obviously pretty important, and obviously if you've got vertical and horizontal freedom, then you can move anywhere you want on the fretboard without getting lost. So take a look at the secret here. After finishing this second bridge set, we would go to a first triple, but instead of going to the next string, let's go eyeball, and I recommend not letting go of these fingers until your eyes have this target. And you can even target that note if you know you want to jump. While you're playing your bridge sets, you can already sort of advanced, targeting with your eyes. So you see what I did there is I jumped up to a triple block, and that's not too magical if you think about the fact that these two strings, the D and the A, are tuned 5 frets from each other. So this note, obviously 5 frets higher, is right there. So the start of the triple block that would be on the D string is 5 notes higher on the A. So very quickly you can start practicing what I just did there. Let me back up. Finish your triple, or excuse me, your bridge. Jump to the triple, target a full step higher, and that's your head set, and then finish with a first bridge. And you could also jump 2 more frets, and then I'd be out of frets actually, to another bridge set. So yeah, take a look here. Instead of going bridge set, we could just do a first bridge here and then jump up to the second bridge there. And that would put us in position to play that same triple block that we played before. And obviously, we could go down to our headsets right here. Or instead of going to the second headset, after doing the first headset, we could target our second headset right there. And then we'd have a bridge set after that. Or do the bridge set here. And then it'd be out of frets, obviously. So, as a general rule of thumb, trying to keep this as simple as possible, it's 2 frets when changing position, unless, here's the one case where it's not, is when you're playing a triple block, because obviously the triple block is 1 fret wider than the other ones. So if you were going to play a triple block and then move up the string, it would actually be right here. There would only be a half step between that triple block and this one. And then there'd be another one right here. So that would be something to practice. Lots of applications for jumping around. Okay, now, point of clarification, just to make sure that I illuminate the way this jumping thing works so that you understand it perfectly. I don't want to leave this out. So, rule of thumb is it's a full step from one set to another. If I'm going from bridge set to a bridge set, I'm going to do it like this. Full step, you see the full step between the 2 hands. But if I'm going from a bridge set to a triple, that's also a full step. But once we get into the triple, If we were going to go to another triple, since the triple is one wider, and now notice we're inside, we've already started the triple, we're inside the first triple to the second triple is a half step. And then the next one would be a half step as well. But now I'm out of strings here. But beyond that, let me go ahead and transfer this down here. So if you're going from the first triple to the second triple, it's a half step. Now let's go to the second triple down here. If you're going to go from the second triple to the third triple, it's a half step. Now let's go down to the third triple here. But notice as you leave the triple to a headset, there's a full step again. So I'm going to wrap this all into one golden rule that you'll understand in a second. Let's go back to the top. As I leave, if I'm going descending is going lower in notes. So as I'm descending, and I'm going to leave the triple to go to the bridge set, it's a full step. And as I'm ascending, as I leave the triple to go to a headset, it's back to full steps. So the golden rule that I want you to live by if you're subscribing to this logic, this Rosetta Stone of guitar way of looking at things, is it's always a full step unless you're inside the triple block. So in other words, if I'm on the top row triple block and I'm leaving it to go to the bridge set, I'm no longer inside. I'm not, sandwiched between triple blocks. I've left the triple block to go to a different kind of set, a bridge set in this case. It's a full step. If I'm leaving the triple block to go to the headsets, it's back to full step. And obviously from headset to headset, piece of cake, it's always a full step. And if I'm going from a bridge set to a bridge set, piece of cake, it's a full step. If I'm going from a, bridge set to a triple, I haven't entered the triple yet. So, in other words, it's only a half step when you're inside the triple. So if I'm going from a first row triple to a second row triple, I'm inside the triple block. So that's the half step situation. The next triple block would be a half step away. But if we kept going beyond that, it would be back to full step because that would be a headset. So I hope that's clear. Always a full step unless you're inside the triple, going from one of the rows of the triples to another row of the triple. If you're going from triple to triple, half step. Otherwise, full step always.
What is it you want from me? Do you even know?
Here's another great exercise and observation to make about the way these shapes work together. If you play a couple of bridge sets here, you can do sort of a half jump. So this little box, this little square, is the bridge set. It's part of the bridge set, but it's also part of the headset, which is next to it. Kind of an interesting observation to make is that a bridge set, a pair of bridge sets are actually right overlapping a pair of headsets. So when you've got this little box, that's kind of a landmark to go by. And then interestingly enough, if you keep going, the triple blocks are stacked on top of each other, so we're playing kind of like shapes in pairs and working our way up. Everything's lined up until you get to here. So we've just entered a spot where they don't sort of pancake together. Perfect, pancake, perfect, perfect. We get to here, there's a breakup. Right, so in fact I call this right here kind of like a hybrid set. You're playing one headset and one bridge set, and you got the diagonal in the middle. But once you go past that, it goes back to normal. And we are about to get back to that breakup here. So notice where it happens too. Here's where we have the perfection, and then there's a triple block, and the very next right next to that triple block, that's where it's going to happen. There's going to be that breakup. So it's not a guessing game where that is, and you can get used to calculating it correctly. So there's the perfection. And then as soon as we get to here, it's not going to be another block, it's going to be sort of a broken up block. What happens is we have actually a square right here and a square right there. So right now I'm actually in between the half step, and there you go.